All right, well, you know, on Studio 10, we love to look brighter and better and, of course, bigger. And you can join us now by picking up the new novel that is titled Bigger. It's written and illustrated by this lovely sister duo who is sitting with us right here today. For today's Ask the Author, let's welcome Christina and Tina. How are you, ladies?
We're good. Thank you for having us.
Yes, well, thank you for joining us. Thank you for bringing our lovely dinosaur friend, too, as well. We should have had another chair, but you know what? He's standing up all right. But the major theme of this book, Bigger, is that it celebrates family, imagination, and love. So you got to tell us both, as the author and illustrator, what will readers find when they pick up this book?
Well, they'll find some good life lessons about how, you know, children, they have all these dreams and their aspirations, and sometimes you can get a little out of hand.
Yeah.
And you need your parents to kind of guide you back a bit.
Yeah.
So at first it was just a story about how the baby dinosaur, he wants to get bigger. And just kind of organically, as I was writing, it got to the end, and the mom was just like, look, you are good the way that you are. Oh. There's a line, in my little arms, you're small enough to hold. If you're too big for hugs, then your heart will grow cold. Oh. So that's one of my favorite lines, especially since they're dinosaurs, they have little tiny arms anyway.
Yeah. Okay, and let me tell you, even as an adult, I definitely relate to that. All the dreams, aspirations, sometimes they just get bigger and bigger and bigger, and and that's what you need as a parent to kind of really back in. But now that you mentioned the dinosaur, of all the animals in the world that you can pick up, why did you choose this one?
I honest to God don't know. I mean, kids like dinosaurs.
Yeah.
But I just got the idea. I was at Applebee's one night with my sister and her son Daniel, and he was little, and he just kept saying bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and the idea just really came from that. And so when I'm inspired, the ideas just kind of flow out. So.
All right, and the ideas got bigger too as well. Yeah. Now we've got Tina, sister over here. Now you are the illustrator. How did you truly make these graphics, these pictures come to life, not just here, but really in the book?
Well, Christina had an initial sketch that I was working from, and at first I was really intimidated because she went to art school and I was self-taught, and when she asked me to do the illustrations, I was like, okay, are you sure? Yeah. But I kept working on it and working on it, and I looked at a lot of dinosaur bones and tried to like break down the structure. I'm like, how do you draw a dinosaur? How do you make it like soft enough for a children's book that it can be replicated over and over and over again? And then I was like, you know what? Dinosaurs kind of look like ducks.
Okay.
And so I simplified the shape, and it really just came to life. And I just looked at ducks and chickens, and then it came to life like that.
That's right, and I see a little bit of that duck in there too as well. Now you both are sisters. Can I ask who's older?
I'm older.
You're the older one? Okay, well I'm in the middle, but I am older in a sense.
I'm in the middle of 7 children.
Okay.
And I'm the last of 7 children.
Yeah.
So then how do you guys work together? Do those family dynamics kind of play in there? Is it whatever Christina says goes because she's the older one?
Well,
how does that work?
It's my book, so it was whatever I say goes. No, but Tina's always been like my biggest fan. This is actually my 19th published book, and my very first published book was also a children's book, Super Kid. And one day I went to the mailbox and I saw it in the post office. I'm like, why is this here? And she was with me, and she was like, I wanted to buy your first copy. So she's been with me all over the country, helping me do my tables at different conventions and so on. So we often travel together. And so she went from a fan to, you know, doing the book with me, so.
Look at that. Well, I can clearly see the family dynamic, the relationship between the two of you. I know what that's like when you have your sister who's truly your biggest fan, but I do want to talk a little more about your family because you paid tribute to your mother, who unfortunately passed away as you guys were creating this book. Did that even bring you closer together than you thought you could? And how did you guys navigate that loss?
It was very difficult because one day I was sitting next to her making the illustrations for the book, and then the next day she was gone. But we both paid tribute, her with the tribute page, but also I saved some flowers from her funeral, and I actually made that into paint pigment, and I used that in the book as well. And so it did bring us closer together, but it was very difficult because it was very sudden.
And one of the first things I thought about, like when she passed, was that line, the last line of the book about it's never time to leave your mother quite yet. And we just immediately started crying, so every time when someone would read it in the family, they would start crying too. You know, her mom lived to 101, and her grandmother lived to 102, so we thought we could have another 30 years with my mom, 30, 40 years or whatever. So it was a shock, but she always encouraged us, you know, So I'm glad that a piece of her can still, you know, live on.
Absolutely, and I think that's one of the things that I love the most about speaking with authors is that what you write down in these books never goes away ever, and the fact that you've incorporated your mother's legacy into this just shows you how much she's living on with everybody who opens this book. So ladies, thank you so much for joining us here today, but the story doesn't have to stop here. You can actually meet Christina and Tina in just a few minutes at the Biggby in Okemos. They're going to be meeting people, signing books, signing copies, so make sure you get one for yourself today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey,
All right, and to keep things on the theme of